Tonight, President Biden's team has found a second batch of unsecured classified documents that date back to his time in the Obama administration. The president's aides reportedly found the documents at a location separate from where the first batch of 10 or so classified documents were found in November. According to various reports, Biden's aides have been going through locations beyond his old office in Washington to determine whether there are even more documents that need to go to the National Archives and the Department of Justice. Now, this comes 2 days after we learned about the initial batch of classified documents recently discovered in a private office closet at the University of Pennsylvania's Biden Center. The documents were discovered during what they said was a routine review on November 2nd of last year. The president's legal team alerted the National Archives and the DOJ for further review, but this latest discovery means the president will have much more explaining to do beyond what he said at a news conference yesterday in Mexico.
When my lawyers were clearing out my office at the University of Pennsylvania, they set up an office for me, secure office in the Capitol. For 4 years after being vice president, I was a professor at Penn. They found some documents in a box in a locked cabinet, or at least a closet. And as soon as they did, they realized there were several classified documents in that box. And they did what they should have done. They immediately called the archives, turned them over to the archives, and I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office.
Now, earlier today, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre got into a tense exchange about this issue. This is before the latest round of documents with Fox News' Peter Doocy.
How could anyone be that irresponsible? Isn't that what this president says about mishandling classified documents?
The president spoke to this personally. He spoke to this personally, and he believes that classified documents and information should be taken seriously. He takes them seriously.
How can President Biden be trusted moving forward with America's secrets?
Because his lawyers, his team did the right thing.
But he had a closet with classified
his lawyers
information
did the right. Again. He was surprised that the records were there. He spoke to this personally. He was surprised that the records were there, and when his lawyers found out and his team found out that they were there, they turned it over to the archives, and now it's being reviewed by the Department of Justice.
You know Fox News is going to come in guns blazing on something like this, but that doesn't mean there aren't real questions here. Questions like, how did these classified documents remain missing for 6 years? Why did they find some of them in early November and now more? Why did we only learn of them until now? Was this an innocent mistake or deliberate action? Let me be clear. I'm not saying this is the same issue facing former President Trump. President Biden and his team alerted the officials to themselves. They certainly didn't defy a subpoena. And the nature of the records appears to be less insensitive than what the government found at Mar-a-Lago, but there's still a lot we don't know. Regardless, this certainly could make pursuing a criminal case against Donald Trump on this issue a lot trickier. Joining us now is Mark Zaid, national security attorney, who's represented individuals accused of handling classified information. He is probably one of the best-known national security lawyers in the country. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, let me ask you first, big picture here. Is this abnormal? I mean, the fact that the former vice president or former president is finding classified documents in different places?
No, I'm not surprised by this at all as a kind of practical matter or a legal matter. In fact, I dare say, I bet if you tasked vice presidents and presidents and their senior staff going back to the Carter administration when the Presidential Records Act was passed, because prior to that, White House officials could take pretty much anything home, including classified documents. In fact, I have one of those documents hanging in my library that a Truman official took home, which has now been declassified for the last 30 years. But he had it in his house for 50 years. There's overclassification. There are so many documents There are so many documents that are mishandled inadvertently. You know, we're not looking at anything, hopefully, intentional, but I'm not surprised at it at all. Most mishandling cases happen like this. Inadvertently taking documents home, they get discovered years later.
But again, we don't know inadvertently. Was it done deliberately?
No.
We don't know that yet. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.